The Faroe Islands feel different the moment you see them. Rising from the North Atlantic between Iceland and Norway, this small archipelago carries a quiet power. Steep cliffs fall straight into the ocean. Green slopes roll smoothly toward the edge of the sea. Clouds move fast, light changes constantly, and wind shapes everything it touches. The Faroe Islands are not loud or dramatic in a familiar way. Their beauty is slow, raw, and deeply connected to nature. This is a place where land and ocean are never separate. And across these islands, every famous location tells that same story, in a different form. Mylafosur, where water meets the ocean. One of the most iconic sights in the Faroe Islands is Mylafosur waterfall. Here, fresh water flows from the highlands and drops directly into the Atlantic Ocean. The waterfall falls nearly 60 meters, framed by curved basalt cliffs that feel carefully shaped. Wind often changes its direction. On strong days, the water rises instead of falling, pushed upward by Atlantic gusts. Above the cliff, the small village of Gassadalur sits quietly, surrounded by grass-covered hills. This single location captures the Faroe Islands perfectly. Water, wind, rock, and isolation working together. Sørvágsvatn, the floating lake illusion. Sørvágsvatn is the largest lake in the Faroe Islands and one of the most surprising. From the right angle, the lake appears to hang high above the ocean. In reality, the height difference is modest. The illusion is created by steep cliffs, compressed horizons, and the way the human eye reads distance. Standing near the edge, the Atlantic feels impossibly far below. The lake itself remains calm and still, even when the sea below is rough. This contrast makes Sørvágsvatn one of the most photographed places in the Faroe Islands. Trilkanufinger, the witch's finger. Rising sharply from the ocean, Trilkanufinger stands like a stone pillar in the sea. Its narrow shape seems almost impossible against the strong Atlantic waves. The formation exists because of columnar basalt, volcanic rock that cools and cracks into vertical structures. Over time, erosion removes weaker material, leaving behind these dramatic spires. Local legends describe the rock as a witch turned to stone by sunlight. The story reflects what the landscape suggests. Something ancient, frozen in motion. Drangarnir, arches carved by the sea. Off the coast, the Drangarnir sea stacks form one of the Faroe Islands' most dramatic natural arches. What was once solid land has been slowly carved open by waves and currents. The Atlantic enters weak layers of rock, widening tunnels until collapse leaves behind arches and isolated pillars. Wind accelerates through the openings, sending spray high into the air. Seabirds circle constantly, using rising air currents to glide effortlessly. Drangarnir shows the ongoing relationship between erosion and time. Tindhólmur, a jagged island ridge. Tindhólmur rises sharply from the ocean with 5 distinct peaks. Its silhouette feels almost unreal. Each ridge was shaped by uneven cooling of lava layers millions of years ago. There are no roads here, no permanent settlement. Only steep slopes, grass, and seabirds. Approaching Tindhólmur by boat reveals how vertical and unforgiving the Faroe landscape can be. Mykines, the bird island. Mykines is often called the natural sanctuary of the Faroe Islands. Strong ocean currents bring nutrients to the surrounding waters, supporting large fish populations. That abundance attracts tens of thousands of seabirds. Puffins dig burrows into grassy cliffs. Gannets and fulmars nest on narrow ledges above the sea. Fog moves quickly here, forming and disappearing within minutes. This constant change defines life on Mykines. Saxon, a valley shaped by the sea. Saxon sits at the end of a quiet tidal lagoon. Steep mountains surround the valley, creating a natural amphitheater. Over centuries, storms pushed sand into the inlet, slowly closing it off from the ocean. What remains is a calm basin that reflects the sky and cliffs above. Saxon feels isolated, peaceful, and perfectly placed. It shows how small changes over time reshape entire landscapes. Fossa, the tallest waterfall. Fossa is the tallest waterfall in the Faroe Islands. It drops in 2 stages, cutting through layers of volcanic rock. After heavy rain, the water spreads wide, filling the cliff face with movement. During drier periods, it narrows into ribbons, revealing the basalt structure beneath. For centuries, the sound of Fossa guided travelers through fog and hills. Gjaug, a village in a natural harbor. Gjógv takes its name from the sea-filled gorge cutting into the coastline. This narrow channel provided a rare safe landing place for boats. The village developed around this geological advantage. Traditional turf roof houses blend into the landscape, protected from strong winds. Gjógv represents how Faroese settlements adapt to nature rather than resist it. Risin og Kellingen, the giant and the witch. These 2 sea stacks stand just offshore, instantly recognizable. One is solid and broad. The other is thinner and more fragile. Both were formed by erosion along fault lines in the basalt rock. Local legends describe them as giants turned to stone. Geologically, they demonstrate different resistance levels within the same volcanic system. Klaksvik, the northern hub. Klaksvik is the 2nd largest town in the Faroe Islands. It sits within a sheltered fjord, protected from open Atlantic storms. This natural harbor made it a center for fishing and trade. Modern tunnels now connect it to neighboring islands. But the surrounding mountains still define its character. Klaksvik balances activity with isolation. Tórshavn, the heart of the islands. Tórshavn is one of the smallest capitals in the world. Its harbor is naturally protected, allowing settlement to develop early. The historic center reflects centuries of continuity. Modern life moves quietly alongside tradition. Tórshavn anchors the Faroe Islands socially and culturally. Southern cliffs, where land ends. Along the southern coast, cliffs rise hundreds of meters straight from the sea. Here, Atlantic waves strike with full force. Spray shoots upward during storms. Seabirds cling to narrow ledges shaped by wind patterns. These cliffs represent the Faroe Islands at their most extreme. The Faroe Islands are shaped by constant interaction. Wind, water, rock. Nothing here is static. Every cliff, valley, and village reflects balance rather than control. This is a place where nature leads and people adapt. The Faroe Islands remain quiet, powerful, and unforgettable.